Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we have our solo gameplay of Tapestry. This first part is going to show you the setup, and then we'll move on into round one probably, and then the following videos will go from there. We'll be playing against the level 2, which is the normal difficulty that I still cannot beat. So hopefully, maybe I'll have better luck this time around. We'll see. And you know, I'm not very good against these Automas. I really love playing games, but I just can't ever beat these Automas. They are just fantastic at all the games they play, almost like they were made for the game. Anyway, moving on, I do want to mention our sponsor, Board Game Co. This is a website where you can buy, sell, and trade games. You can buy games from them, obviously. A lot of places let you do that. You can sell games to them. Some places let you do that. You can also trade games over there, which is a pretty unusual thing to be able to do. There's not many places to be able to do that. Obviously, Board Game Geek, you can trade with the users. Board Game Co. is another possibility for how to trade games away. This is, they have a whole system over there. You can link into your Board Game Geek account. They can pull straight from your list of games that you have over there. So be sure to go check out Board Game Co. Click on the link in the description below so they know that I sent you over. That's Board Game Co., where you can buy, sell, and trade your way into a better collection. And also, by the way, these t-shirts and a lot of the t-shirts you see on this channel are from Mr. Meeple. There's a link in the description below for that as well. All right, let's get down to the table. I'm going to show you how to set up Tapestry. All right, everybody, so here we go with a level 2 normal difficulty game of Tapestry solo. Now, I have beaten level 1. I also beat level 2, but it turns out I was playing the rules wrong, significantly wrong, and giving myself a bit of an advantage. So I have gone back, and we're going to be trying to beat level 2 with the correct set of rules. Now, since I started playing the correct set of rules, I've gotten beaten pretty good repeatedly by level 2, so I might just not be very good at this game, but we're going to see what we can do today. Maybe you'll witness history, and I'll beat level 2 for the first time. Okay, so what we've got here, I am going to be red, the Automa is yellow, and then down here you can see the third cube here, which does not have anything on the map. It has no presence on the map throughout the entire game, but the third cube here is the Shadow Empire. The Shadow Empire is basically there to suck up victory points and as well as landmarks. The real bad thing is that the Shadow Empire actually gives landmarks to the Automa, which is pretty rough because the Automa can end up making a lot of points with those landmarks. All right, so we need to complete the setup here. I've got it pretty close, but you can see I have the 3 different color cubes on each of the tracks. We've got military, science, exploration, and technology. Up on the score track up there, I just have red and yellow because the Shadow Empire does not keep track of victory points. Only the Automa does. So the Automa and I are the ones that are actually fighting for the win here. So real quick, we need to pick the favorite tracks of the Automa and Shadow Empire. And all that means is that the certain game effects will affect them based on their favorite tracks, and they're more likely a little bit to advance on their favorite track. So let's see what happens here. This is the Automa. Technology is going to be the Automa's favorite track. So put that right there to mark that. And then the, and by the way, that also means that the Automa's personality is going to be engineers. So on income turns 2 through 5, the Automa will gain 1 victory point extra for each landmark it has. Again, those landmarks can really, really kill you. So we're going to see how that goes. All right, so now the Shadow Empire has to be a different one to start off with. So let's see what we got. There we go. Exploration. All right. So what else we need to do? We need to get our technology cards out. We need 3 of them. So we have irrigation. Irrigation level, so all of them level 1 are basically just you getting the tech, and thematically it's kind of like your civilization has the idea for irrigation, right? Then with level 2 you're kind of getting a rudimentary version of it, and in this case that will provide me with some food. And then when I upgrade it to level 3, that's when you've actually perfected irrigation, and that in this case will give me a farm, which are one of these buildings down here, and we'll talk about those in a second, that come from a player board and go into my city. Also, that means that to get the irrigation, myself or the Shadow Empire or the Automa will have to at least be in tier 2 for science, which is this tier right here. All right, then we've got the library. It gives me 3 victory points at level 2, and then gives me the actual library at level 3, and requires me to have writing already, which is, well, I'll show you where that is in a second. And then concrete gives me a, what's a market? It gives me a market at level 2, and gives me victory points for each of my markets at level 3, and the prerequisite is somebody has to be at level 2 for exploration. Over there, we've got all of our landmark buildings, and then we've got our various piles of space cards, and then these are the regular terrain tiles right there. All right, so down here, remember I was telling you that the library needs writing. All right, so as I'm playing, if I get this building out first, means I have symbology and language. And then if this building goes out, now I have writing, at which point I've met the prerequisite for the library. And these buildings can go into these squares in my city. This is my city grid over here. See, it's pretty much empty at this point, and I get victory points either by, not victory points, I get a resource for completely filling out one of these 3x3 grids. The other thing that I get is victory points if I complete a row or column, and I'll get those victory points every single income phase. Now, these orange dots mean those spots are already considered filled. So, for instance, this space or this 3x3 grid here, I only need to put 4 or fill these 4 squares for it to be completed. That can be filled with these buildings are all called income buildings. We have markets, houses, armories, and farms. Also, the landmark buildings can come over here and fill in a whole bunch of spaces just like that. Now we do need to pick out our civilization. We've got 2 here. We've got the Isolationists. The Isolationists just want, come on, focus, just want to be left alone. Start with 4 player tokens here. So that means player token will go right here, just like that, 4 of them. Whenever you conquer an empty territory, you may place one of these tokens there in addition to your outpost, preventing that territory from being conquered in the future. If you do gain 1 resource on your final income turn, score victory points for the largest connected landmass of the same terrain type you control. Okay, all right. So could get up to 40 extra victory points. That's pretty awesome right there. Militants. The militants seek to reap the benefits of the territories they control. Start with 8 outposts covering the spaces of this card. So that would be outposts. So they'd be like that, basically, on each of those spaces. Whenever you conquer, take an outpost from the far left of either row here. At the beginning of your income turns, gain all the exposed benefits. If you gain this civilization, well, that doesn't matter. We're not getting in the middle. I think I'm going to go with the Isolationists. All right, so we're going to try that. And so we'll go ahead and put these 4 cubes on here. And that can be really helpful because depending on how the Automa plays, sometimes the Automa can get pretty aggressive. So that could be very helpful in preventing those issues. All right, so that pretty much covers the setup, other than let me just show you exactly what we've got over here with the Automa. So you can see there's where the engineer's card went right there. This is where the Automa will store all the landmarks that it's going to take from me. These are the actions the Automa is going to take during its income phase, and here are the victory points it's going to get during its income phase, and we'll cover all that when the income phase comes around. And these are the Automa cards. This is the Automa's current deck. It has 8 cards in it. And then this is, I believe, called the progress deck. And basically at every income turn, this symbol means that I'll add 2 cards from this to the Automa's deck. And so it'll get a little bit stronger and then also last longer in each round before having to go into its income phase again. Okay, so I think I am going to go first here. When the day comes that I finally beat the Automa can go first. But I'm going to go first. And so what we have to do is we look, the very first thing we do is we start the game with an income turn. And you can see down here, there's numbers next to each of these symbols. And that tells you which rounds you do these steps for the income turn, which means the only thing I do for the first income turn is receive income. So you see I get one money, and then I get 1 worker, and 1 food, and also 1 of these terrain tiles. And let's see what we got. We've got one that's basically all ocean, but if we place it, we'll get an additional money for discovering that area. And I'll keep these on my on this board over here so y'all can see them. And by the way, so these symbols over here are victory point symbols, and you can see that that is a separate section of the income turn. It's right here. So all I'm doing right now is just this portion here. So like I said, I got the food and the terrain tile, and now I'll get the morale and the tapestry card. All right, so our first tapestry card is Renaissance. When played, advance on each track exactly once. Do not gain the benefits. You may gain any resulting bonuses for free. Oh, okay, that's actually pretty neat. So we'll keep that over here. And that is the income turn. So now the Automa is going to take an income turn. All right, so you can see there are numbers next to all of these as well. And the only one with a number 1 is this one. And that symbol means that you take an Automa card, or I'm sorry, a tapestry card, and place it next to the board. And these basically are how the Automa is going to attempt to possibly defend against attacks from me. There's a chance that the Automa will play a trap card on me, and that would be found in this right here. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully, as an isolationist, I'm not even going to fight the Automa, at least not as an aggressor. So we'll see what happens there. But that is where the trap cards will be found if they do end up playing any on me. Okay, so I think that really what I need to do as the isolationist, it will be very beneficial for me to really try to focus on exploration and military as my 2 primary focuses. And currently there aren't any technology cards that will significantly help with that, though grabbing that library technology card could be good as a initial technology card to have. But I think what I'm going to try to do first is I'm going to try to get over here and grab the 10 points for getting that middle island before the Automa does, because that's the Automa's initial push as far as conquering goes. So let's go ahead, and to do that, I need to explore this area. And to explore that area, I need to get rafts. I need to develop rafts to be able to explore first. So we're going to spend, let's see, food is the primary resource for exploration, and morale is for military. So we'll just use some people here for initially to move up on the exploration track. We get scouting, which is going to give us 2 terrain tiles. Let's see what we get. All right, so here we've got morale and we've got market, which that could be good because that's not something I'm going to focus on. So it could be good to get some of those out there. So now we have these 3 possibilities here: morale, market, and money. The cool thing with the market is that that'll give me a continuous benefit to every income phase. So that is probably looking like the one I want to use right now. But we will think about that a little bit more in a minute. But that's my turn. I spent a resource, moved up on the track, and resolved the effect, and now it goes back to the Automa. So for the Automa, I draw 2 Automa cards. Oops, let's bring it down and give us a little bit of space here. Draw 2 Automa cards. All right, and for this, the section we're looking at this top section here, and then these 2 boxes here. So ignore everything else you see here. This symbol means that we're going to choose, by the way, the light blue symbols are referring to the Automa, while the gray symbol is referring to the Shadow Empire. So this symbol, as you can see here, the flag is a non-finished closest to the end. Well, all of them are non-finished. All the tracks are non-finished, and the Automa is equally close to the end on all of them because they haven't gone anywhere yet. So then we use this track here to resolve. So we check, or we're going to do the military track is the focus here. So we're going to move up 1 on the military track for the Automa. And we're going to look at this since we're over here so we don't have to come back to it. But we've got for the Shadow Empire, they'll move up on the technology track 1. This box, by the way, means that all tracks are viable. All of them are focused there. So at that point, you just work your way up like this. All right, so first we had the Automa who was moving up on the military track, and right away they're going to conquer. So let's take a look at this. So valid hexes are all hexes that can be conquered or explored. All right, and this hex, for instance, can be conquered and explored. It's empty. For me, I'd have to explore first and then next time conquer, but you'll see that the Automa can do both at the same time. It'll only conquer adjacent to me if this toppled outpost icon is on the card, and that would be down here. It's not, but it can't conquer adjacent to me anyway, so it doesn't matter. So tiebreakers. So right now we're just looking at any that can be conquered or explored, which would be here. Like basically everything around it can be conquered or explored, right? So what's the tiebreaker? Can it still gain the Middle Island achievement? Yes, it can. Nobody's got it yet, so that is available. So then the first tiebreaker is closest to the middle island, which is going to be this space. So what's the action you do? Empty hex, which it is. There's nothing there. Draw and place a random tile, and then place the Ottoman Outpost. And if that was there, you place a toppled Shadow Empire Outpost as well, but we don't have to worry about that. So we're going to draw and place a random tile, and then place an Ottoman Outpost. So when you draw these tiles for the Automa, you don't look at them first. It's got to be placed randomly, so I always choose the orientation and then flip it over. All right. And then we got to place an Automa Outpost, and you can see they're already pushing that direction. That's how fast these guys can work sometimes if they end up being real aggressive. So then with the Shadow Empire, what was it again? The technology track. They move here. Now, fortunately for me, or maybe unfortunately, because I'm not particularly in love with these technology cards, but the Shadow Empire never gains any benefits. The Automa, if it landed here, would wipe this clean, and we put 3 new tech cards out. But like I said, it's Shadow Empire, so we don't have to worry about it. But that is the Automa's turn and the Shadow Empire. So now we come back to me. And now I want to keep pushing this way, so I want to explore this. So we are going to use the money, which, by the way, I'm not sure if I really explained that. This is the cost of the tier that I'm currently in, this right here. So it's any resource. Once I get to tier 2, it's 1 food and 1 of any resource, and so on as you see it. So anyway, so move that there. That will, that gives me rafts, which allows me to explore and place any of these. And I think I am going to, well, let's see. What will give me, I don't have any desert. Ocean's my best bet to get multiple points. Place it like that, so you get 1 victory point for each side that at least partially matches. So I've got water. So I've got water on 3 sides. So it's 3 victory points plus 1 morale. So I think that's how I'll do it. So I get the 3 victory points, and morale goes up 1. I just realized I've been calling it morale the entire time. It's actually culture. That's what that star is. It's culture, not morale. So sorry about that. Anyway, moving on. that should be, oh no, okay, so then there's a possible bonus here. I can spend any one resource and get another Tapestry card. But this is the Tapestry card. I mean, I'm pretty happy with this one. I don't see any reason. I think I can find better uses for my resources, so I'm not going to do that right now. So we're going to go on to the Automa turn. So with the Automa, you actually discard both of the previous cards. So get these out of the way and draw 2 new ones. So what this will be is the Automa is going to, all tracks are viable, so it's going to go on its favorite track. And then for the Shadow Empire, it's going to go with the track where it's closest to the end, which is the only track it's moved on, of course, is the technology track. So that is the one that it's going to move on. Oh, by the way, I think I said before that you followed this box and these boxes. This box actually matters too, but that hand only matters if this deck, if the Ultimate deck up here is empty. So we don't have to worry about that right now. Okay, so what did we say? It was the Ultima's going on its favorite track, which is the tech track. So it actually goes here and it's going to wipe clean these tech cards. For me, that would let me actually select a tech card, which is called inventing. But for the Automa, it deletes all those, and let's see what we've got. So we've got lithium ion batteries. Level 2 is 4 victory points. Level 3 allows me to basically take the benefit of any space. Again, I'm pretty sure that's what that means. But to do that, someone has to be at level 4 exploration. We've got the treasury, 4 victory points at level 2, and the treasury landmark at level 3. Someone has to have currency, which would be me because the Ultima and Shadow Empire don't do any of the buildings. And then we've got telescope at level 2 is going to give me 1 culture and 1 tile, 1 exploration tile. And at level 3, I'm going to get a victory point for each exploration tile I have in my hand, I believe. And but to do that, someone has to be at level 2 on the tech track. And then the Shadow Empire is going to move up 1 on the tech track as well. So now for me, I'm going to spend 1 culture to move up on the military track so I can conquer. That gives me archery. And I will take 1 of these and place it right here. Now, when I conquer, I get to roll these dice. Oh, and by the way, I am going to go ahead and place 1 of these cubes because basically if I'm moving towards this guy, I'm going to put those cubes out to make it impossible or more difficult for him to come in and successfully conquer me because I don't like that he's already being aggressive. So let's roll these dice. All right, we got a 5 victory points, or we can take 1 culture. This symbol means I can take whatever the reward was for that tile that I'm on. By the way, this dice tower comes from Folded Space. You should definitely go check them out. They mainly make inserts, but they make that dice tower as well. I love that thing. It's so nice and quiet, but still has that kind of real satisfying sound as the dice go down it. So do I want the 5 victory points? The most victory points on this is 7. I think I might take the culture and stretch out my round here a little bit more. That'll put me at 2 culture. So I have 2 culture and 1 food left. So what we've got here is the Ultima. This symbol means the Ultima that is either near the Ultima cube that is either nearest the end of a track or nearest a landmark. Well, that is going to be either the Ultima here at technology, which is 1, 2, 3 away from a landmark, or over there in military, which is also 3 away from a landmark. So then we need to break the tie between tech and military. And as we work our way down this way, we see tech comes first. So it's going to move up on the tech track here. So then for the Shadow Empire, all tracks are viable. It's going to take its favorite track, which is exploration, and move up right there. Oops, can't see that, but it moved to right there. All right, so now I'm going to spend 1 food. and move up on the military track because I really want to get here and conquer that middle island. So that space, though, is going to give me a Automa card. I keep calling them Automa cards. Tapestry card. We have here Boast of Superiority. When played for each advancement track where there are no further advanced tokens than yours, gain 4. So basically for each track I'm in the lead, I get 4 victory points. Currently that would be 2. That'd be 8 victory points. That'd be pretty good, actually. Now, as a bonus, underneath that Tapestry card, there's a bonus symbol that allows me to spend 1 resource to get an armory. And if I did that, then this, I would gain racing and I would get 2 culture every income phase. That would leave me with 1 culture, which would still allow me to conquer next turn. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go and take this. Now, where do I want to put it? I think this one only needs 4. This one only needs 3. So we're going to put it here. We're going to start building here and fill that out pretty quickly there. All right, so that makes it the Automa's turn. So you can see here, all tracks are viable. The Automa is going to go on the exploration track right there. No, that doesn't give it any sort of benefit. These are all the benefits that it could get, but you see that there's nothing for gaining exploration tiles. Okay, and then again for the Shadow Empire, everything is viable, so it's going to go up on its favorite track, which is exploration, right there behind me, or next to me now, actually. And that's everything from them. Now, that is the last pair for the Automa, so it is going to go into its income phase this next turn. But now I'm going to spend my final culture and move up on that track. Lets me conquer. I'll get to the center island. And I'll have to roll a conquer die, but while I'm there, I'm also going to make sure I do this. So this actually will prevent anybody else from conquering there, which means that nobody else can get the second, where is it? Right here. So the secondary points for that. So I'm going to mark that I did get there. So that's 10 victory points just for making it to the center island, which puts me at 13. So we need to roll our conquer dice. Ooh, okay, so 6 victory points or gain a food and keep working on this round. The Automa's already going to beat me to income phase, so maybe I should keep working on this round. I should pick up maybe a tech card because I do get an automatic up. Yes, you know what? All right, so instead of victory points, I'm going to take. It hurts me to lose the 6 because the 6 is the second highest number on here, but I am going to take the food there, and that puts me at 1. Not the food, the coins. That puts me at 1 coin, and will let me extend this round out just a little bit farther. All right, so now, though, the Automa is going to go into its first, or I guess its actual second income phase. So the first thing that's going to happen is this top left section here with the blue heart and the gray heart. We got to see, is the Automa, is it at the end of its favorite track, which they're not because nobody's near the end of a track right now, or less advanced than another, than another marker on its favorite track? If so, then we're going to change its favorite track. So let's see. Favorite track of the Shadow Empire is right here. It is not less advanced. It is tied with me, so it's fine. Favorite track of the Automa is the tech track, and it's also tied with the Automa, or with the Shadow Empire, so it's fine. It's going to stay where it is. Don't have to worry about that. The next thing that happens is the Engineer's card here is going to cause the Automa. The Automa gains 1 victory point extra for each landmark it has. Well, it doesn't have any landmarks yet, so no extra victory points there. So next it'll go into this victory point section here. How many landmarks does it have? None. So 0 times 1 is 0. How many areas does it control? It has 2 areas right now. So 2 times 1 is 2 victory points. And then we've got, for both military and science, it's times 0. So it actually doesn't make any points on those regardless of how far it is during the first or during the second income phase. Then with the tech track, it is at 2, the second space. So 2 times 1 is 2. So that brings us to 4 victory points now total. And with the exploration, it's on the first space. 1 times 1 is 1. So that's 5 victory points total. Also, because it was the first one to make it here, make it into this second income phase, it's going to get 2 victory points. So that's 7 victory points that we're looking at for the Automa right now. Not so bad, actually. So 7 victory points for the Automa. Now, the next thing that happens is these are obviously getting discarded, but then 2 new cards get put in from the deck into the discard pile. All right. And for whatever reason, shuffle is down here at the bottom. I always go ahead and shuffle it up right now. Maybe that matters as more symbols get added in higher difficulty levels, but it doesn't really matter right now. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle it. So now we need to take a Tapestry card and place it face down right here. And what that means is that next time, these are the multipliers that we'll be using. And so you can see every time it gets a little bit more damaging with the multipliers. And then we take a Tapestry card, place it right here next to the board, and that's the reshuffle. And that's the end of the income phase for the Automa. All right, so pretty positive this is going to be my final turn for the round. We're going to spend that money, move up on the tech track, and get our first technology card. And I think since exploration and war or military is going to be so important to us, telescope seems like the obvious choice here. So I'm going to take that. And it goes right here next to my city. The X is the first spot. And then when you move up to level 2, you get, see the circle there, you get what's in the circle as your benefit. And then when you get here to level 3, whatever's in the square, you get as your benefit. So, but it starts there right now. All right, so here we go with the Automa. All tracks are viable. It's going to take its favorite track, which is the tech track, which means it's going to, oh, I forgot to pull out a new one. So even though this is about to get gone away, compass, oh, this would have been really good for me. Compass, but because the Automa has moved here, it's going to wipe these 3 out. And we're going to get air conditioning. Level 2 is a worker. Level 3 is a house. Here we've got the stock market. Level 2 is 5 victory points, and level 3 is the stock market. And dynamite. This one could be good for me. Level 2 is conquer. Level 3 is victory points for each territory that you control. All right, so that was the Automa. So now we've got the Shadow Empire. Everything is viable. It's going to go up on the science track. Now the science track is actually pretty cool. So the Automa is going to go there. And now this symbol means it's going to roll a science die and move up on whichever track pops up. The exploration track. Ugh, not good. It's getting close to taking a, it's getting close to taking this, what's it called? Landmark. And since this is actually one of my tracks that I really want to be doing well on, I need to take these landmarks for myself. So we'll see what happens here. Okay. The Shadow Empire doesn't do anything else with that. So now my turn. So now we get to see how my income phase works. Okay, so first, if I had any ability that occurs during the income turn based off of my civilization, that this would happen now. But if you remember, only on the final income does that happen. Okay, so that's not right now. All right. Now, next up is I have to play a Tapestry card. So definitely going to play this one. When played, advance on each track exactly once. Do not gain the benefits. You may gain any resulting bonuses for free. So that's going to go here. Now, if I was the first one here, I would have gotten 1 resource for being the first one, but I'm obviously not. But my civilization is now having a renaissance. So let's see what happens. Exploration, I move up 1. Now I can't get the benefit. but that does help me get closer to this right there. Over here, I move up 1. Now, see if I... Oh, wait, it says I get the benefit for free, right? Yeah, the resulting bonus for free, I mean. So here's a bonus to get a market. I can't get the benefit, which is this top piece, but the market I can get. So, I think instead of trying to complete this 3x3 first, let's try to complete this row first to get some extra victory points. So I'll actually put it right here. And then I'll move up on science, but there's nothing that I get for that. But now this is exciting. I move up on military, and while I don't get the benefit, the landmarks are not considered benefits. They are something entirely separate, which means I get the Barracks Landmark. It takes up a 4x4 space. Ooh, check this out. If I put it here, I've now completed that 3x3 area. I'm going to get 1 resource. I'm going to make it a food resource to make sure, because I'm doing pretty good on military as far as staying ahead of the Automa. I'm going to get the food resource to help me push up this exploration track. So that Renaissance was really cool. All right, so let's finish up here. So that was playing the Automa card. Next is... Why do I keep calling it an Automa card? Tapestry card. My goodness, y'all. Okay. Anyway, next is I upgrade. I may upgrade a tech card, which I am definitely going to. So I'll upgrade the telescope. And what that means is now I get 1 culture and 1 exploration tile. We have 1 that gives us food, lots of water. Let's move that culture up. So now I have 1 food, 1 culture. All right, which are the 2 things that I really need. Then I get any victory points that show up on here. So I get 1 victory point per technology card that I have. So that's 1 victory point. Puts me at 14. And then I get 1 victory point per completed row or column. Don't have any rows or columns completed yet, so not doing anything there. And then the final thing is to gain income. So I'm going to get 2 coins, 1 worker, 1 food, and 1 exploration tile. There's more food, lots more water. Water's good too, y'all, because remember, I'm trying to get all these, trying to get this track here connected. As many largest connected. Oh wait, it says largest connected land mass, so water wouldn't count. Okay, good to know. I'm glad I reread that. All right. So where were we? We did the food. Okay, so culture. I get 2 culture, brings me up to 3, and a tapestry card. Age of Wonders. When played, gain 2 resources if you have the fewest landmarks. If you have the most landmarks, gain 12 victory points. Otherwise, advertise, gain 1 resource and 6 victory points. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. I do currently have the most, even though the Automa is probably going to start collecting them here pretty fast. So, but that's the end of my income turn, and so then it goes back to the Automa. All right, so there you go. That is the end of round 1. Did pretty good. Did all right. I'm feeling all right about my lead right now, but that Automa really starts ramping up as we get into later rounds, as I'm sure you'll find out. Be sure to come back and check out parts 2 and 3. I think that's how this one's going to get split up. They should be up within the next several days, and I really appreciate you watching. Be sure to subscribe, click on that bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and until next time, if you're bored online, board offline.